Hey, it's Adam here from ENTA Asks, and we are super excited. Today we have Saawan Logan on the show, and she is the co-founder of North Water, which is a local water company that is bottling Alberta spring water in reusable aluminum cans. So you're gonna wanna check this out. Hey, it's Adam and Kate here, and this is another episode of ENTA Asks, and we are super excited to be on site at North Water with our friend and founder of North Water, Saawan Logan.
Hello. And this is North Water guilt-free hydration.
Guilt-free hydration.
Right? And if you're a company, you can meet your sustainability goals.
That's right.
What we're going to talk about today is living your brand. So let's first talk about the North Water brand.
Mm-hmm.
We did last time mention the Canadian logo, and I love the coloring. And on here, I love what you say. You say rethink, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to quote what's on the bottle. I choose to rethink my impact on the planet. And I am responsible for what I take and what I leave behind. This is the path less traveled. This is my north.
Mm-hmm.
Super powerful. So you guys took some time to come up with these things.
Yeah, for sure. Many strategy sessions as to what we wanted, how we wanted our values to come across. So really, the whole idea behind the bottle was to capture our values in one small space. Real estate is limited, so what can you fit in it, right? Mm-hmm. North, the word means the world to me because it's a guide. You know, I grew up reading about the Northern Star, how it was, used by sailors and people in history to guide them to wherever they were going. And so that to me is North. North is not just not just anything. It's actually a direction. It's a sense of purpose. It's a sense of existence, and hence the name North. And worked really well too with the Great White North when you think of Canada and the water and all
we're
those
way
things.
Up here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's lots of. It means a lot of things to us and to anybody, and you find yourself in that, right? Mm-hmm. So when I say find your north, means you can be anything you want. You could live your life the way you think you should live your life, and because why not? That's your north.
I love that.
Choose your journey.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. It's funny, we talk about brands so much, and there's a change. So before, I would say probably about 5 years ago, most of the risk profiles company worried about were like regulatory risks, and they were worried a lot about, financial risks, these kind of things. Reputational risk is now one of the top risks that companies are concerned about. With social media, with, being able to have, everybody has a voice now. Everybody has a voice. Reputational risk is huge, and so companies need to be brand aware. But you said something really interesting when we were chatting before, was it's a series of little things, like it's not this big thing, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so just want to focus on the reputational risk piece first. I used to do a lot of work on assessing project risk. So before you start a project, you do an IRAP matrix that says, what is my risk of doing this? And reputational risk always ranked the highest. Why? Because you could lose your business on a fatality. You could lose your business on a bad decision that actually has a ripple effect, and you could never quantify that in dollars. The only easiest way to quantify that was to look at all the lawsuits that had ever happened and the fines that were given to people. Yeah. It was the easiest way. But that doesn't ever bring back what you've lost, right? And we as companies and people, we tend to look for the big picture. How do we get to something bigger, faster, bigger impact, bigger explosion, bigger everything else that makes us look like we've checked a box, but it's a big box to check, right? We don't look at the baby steps that we can take, the little things that we can do, the low-hanging fruits, as many would call it, to get to our goal. And to me, having a sustainable option, having a choice is your baby step. We don't all have to feel the need to go open a bottled water company or an environmentally friendly business that, does something. We don't need to. We just need to rethink our choices that we make. right? So having an alternative out there, being able to supply that alternative. So if you're a company that has a sustainability goal, why not start small, right? Whether it's bottled water or it's maybe using eco-friendly cleaning products. I don't know, like choose something that's not another thing in the landfill.
Well, and I think that's really important because this is what people see, right?
And it's not just, when we talk about what people see, it's not just what the world sees, but internally, the people that show up here every day, what do they see and what do they believe in and why are they here, right? You could work in a lot of places. Why do you choose, Northwater or ENTA Solutions or any brand, right? It aligns with who you are as a personality, and that's powerful stuff when you can come to work and be excited with that.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Well, and this is our, we love to live in this world because this is what we do, right? We take the culture from the values on the wall and turn it into a reality, right? And help infuse it in the business. But understanding why it's so important. Right now it's so important because people are finding that work-life balance where they want to be part of something bigger, where they want to be engaged. And right now, I think the statistic is something like 60% of employees are not engaged. That's a lot of missed opportunity, right? And how do you get people engaged? Well, I mean, they've got to care, right? And if you say you care, you better show it. You better walk the walk, right? And it's a series of things. Like if my company says, hey, we're environmentally friendly, and they put out bottled water in the boardroom, right? Or they, don't use cleaning products, and they, make a whole series of other choices. Maybe they don't recycle. I'm not going to believe that they think they're environmentally friendly.
Yeah, I got to walk the talk.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So it's really cool. Like if they had this in their boardroom, and I would go, this is the cool part, is you impact your employee. They walk into the boardroom and they're like, oh, Northwater, that's really cool. Oh, I want one of those bottles. Maybe I should do that at home. Now as a company, you've affected change, and it's a little ripple, because then the person who goes to visit them sees it in their home, and the ripple effect happens. It's amazing the impact you can have when you walk the walk.
I saw a really cool interview with kind of a career entrepreneur, and he was talking about his company, and then he said at some point they were sitting around with his leadership team and they were talking about, okay, we're going to spend some money, we're going to put the values up on the wall in the lobby, we want to have them like front and center, and the conversation was, how much is it going to cost and how we're going to do it, blah blah blah. And then he said one of his colleagues at the hand said, it's not the wall's job to tell everybody what the values are. And
Love it.
like, whoa, right? How powerful, what a statement.
That is a big statement.
So now our wall is blank.
Yeah.
Like,
Straight.
how cool is that,
Yeah.
right? And as a leader, just keeping that front and center is, it can be hard sometimes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, it's difficult, but one of the things that COVID, like we've all complained about COVID and how it was, sucked for us to start a business during COVID. Flow. But the positive things that came out of it, I'm so grateful. Like, not that COVID happened, but just the effect it had on people, because all of a sudden you realized your Instagram world didn't mean anything. Your closet didn't mean anything. Your car didn't mean anything. None of that mattered. What mattered was really, where do you live today and how you're treating people around you and how you're treating the world around you. It really brought us back to what our grassroots of where we came from and what really matters to us. And I saw the shift towards the environment, the people making more conscious decisions, supporting small businesses, to actually learning where their food comes from. For a change, something we never thought about is how far has our avocado traveled, right? We never think about these things, but hey, when supply chain issue happens and you're sitting at home, bored, and you're looking at, my food truck hasn't arrived yet to drop off my groceries, well, it really does put things into perspective, right? When there's toilet paper shortage, you're like, who knew where toilet paper came from until we had a toilet paper shortage?
I actually saw, and it was a meme, so I couldn't verify the truth, but it was talking about avocados, exactly what you're saying. It said from South America, and then it showed packaged in Taiwan, sold in Canada.
And how much water does each avocado take?
Oh,
That's a good question.
That is a good question, and we're totally going to get into that next time when we talk about water monsters. But before we leave, your mom had a saying, and I loved it. Tell me that saying.
Yeah, so my mom always said, faithful in small, faithful in big. Basically meant if you are willing to not cut corners and do those little things that no one notices, only you do, you're going to be extra careful of the bigger things that gets the attention. And I thought, always kept that at the back of my head because it was such a good way to live life. You know, little changes, little things, and it's easier to do bigger stuff.
Yeah.
There's a quote I really love. It says, "When I think of what tremendous consequences come out of little things, I'm tempted to think there are no little things." And I think that's
Love it.
right.
So powerful. Yeah, that is a mic drop.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
love that. So, where can anybody get a hold of you? They want to order a case. They want to,
drinknorthwater.com.
Excellent. So go online and get a case of Drink North Water. Not only will you be hydrated and satisfied, you're going to be supporting the right causes and living a brand worth supporting.
Yeah. And watch for them at Safeway, Sobeys.
That's right. Find us at Safeway, Sobeys, Co-op, Whole Foods Canada.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.